All right, cool. Welcome back to the Cult Personality Podcast. Hopefully, my audio isn't too loud as of right now. We're here today on a special Monday in real life. So, when you see this, it's also a Monday just next week. And today with me is a new face, brand new face, no returning guest today. Today with me is Contempo. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. I'm really excited about this one. This week, we're talking about Contempo's upcoming EP, which, when is that coming out? Is
This
there a
Friday.
date? This Friday. So by
Yes.
the time you guys are watching this, it will be with like 3 days ago. So check that out. Link in the description right now. Awesome, cool. Honestly, there's no hesitation. Before we get into like the main question, of the podcast, I gave a listen to the project, early access, right, y'all? And I think the production is really dope. I think the project's really dope in its entirety, but the production is really like unique. I really like it. I want to know what were your inspirations for this project, sound-wise, if any at all, or were you kind of just like I'm on my own vibe?
Yeah, so every song is like a different story. I feel like okay, the first one, Emotional Swaggage, when I first started recording that one, I was just playing around with some melodies. Um, I feel like every day after work, if I'm not doing music, I'm doing something wrong. So it must have been like on a regular day after work that I'm like, let me see what I can come up with. And then I was just playing around with melodies, and that's how that one came to be. But yeah, it's like it really depends on like what I'm going through that the song becomes its own entity per se. Like
Right.
for example, the last song, um, Living in the Moment, that one was finished like maybe 2 weeks before I sent the whole project to my engineer.
Yeah.
That song was inspired by the fact that I was about to get evicted from my house. And
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
oh, yeah, I was like, oh, fuck.
I thought
So,
that that track had like a bit of a more somber demeanor compared to the rest of them. Even though, I know most of
mhm,
them are pretty like expressive, especially lyrically. I feel like
mhm,
sonically the last one was like very chill. But that's crazy that I was
yes.
struggling something so like difficult.
Mhm,
How was that
yeah.
process for you?
So I had been delaying it for many, many months. I could say even years, because my landlords were trying to get me to sign a lease that would
Hmm.
make me pay 200 more on my rent. And I was
Hmm.
like, I'm not paying that shit. I'm just gonna stay here. I'm just gonna keep on paying the same price. I can't I can't just sign this lease. So they had been on my ass for me to sign a lease for like 2 years. And since I kept ignoring them, they started to harass me.
Oh my God,
So
that's
they were like
horrible.
calling me every day from different numbers that I would never save. And they were like, either you sign the lease and pay the difference, or we're gonna have to start legal action. And I was like, I don't like none of the options you're giving me.
Yeah, it's like you got my back
So
against the wall.
yeah. So then one day I think it was a weekend. I woke
Hmm.
up, I started to work on music in general. Like I was just playing music in general. And then I just started crying out of nowhere. I was
Oh
like on
man.
the floor on my yoga mat, and I'm like, oh fuck. It's like built up. When you ignore something so much, it like sneaks up behind you and eats your
100%.
ass.
Yep. I've never heard it like that one, but exactly like that. Like, I've heard, yeah, it bottles up and explodes, but sneaks up behind you and eats your ass is literally like the perfect expression.
That's exactly what happened to me. I was just chilling, and they're like, oh my God, I have to move, and I don't know what to do, and like, I don't know where to go, and I don't want legal action, and I have no money, and I had already been putting my rent on my credit cards. So I couldn't afford to live there, but I didn't want to go.
Right.
So yeah, that's how that song came to be. And the first line literally says, the first line says, every 23rd something in me dies, because the 23rd of May is when I realized that I could no longer avoid the fact that I had to move.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, even the fact that you could have avoided it at all is like kudos to you, but it's also like so heart-wrenching anxiety the whole time. At least I would imagine, you know?
Yeah, yes, that's exactly how it is. It's like, I had been living there for like f almost 4 years, and it was
Hmm.
the first place where I felt that it was mine. Because I moved out of my mom's when I was like 17, and I had
Right.
been living in rooms that I had found on Facebook Market. So that was my first home. And I, just thinking that I had to start to pack everything and like condense my life to a few boxes, I just, I was crashing out. But yeah,
Yeah, dude. That's crazy, man. I honestly, housing and security and all that stuff is so important. People really don't realize it. When you
yeah,
are fearful of losing the roof over your head, it's like there's nothing comparable to it.
yeah,
It really drives you fucking mad. I'm really sorry you had to go through that, to be honest, because it's not a
thank
fun
you.
feeling.
No.
Yo, man. Yeah, no, and I think it's cool that you talk about like that last track and like diving into that because it's exactly like what I want to talk about, like what's behind these tracks, you know? Like,
Mhm.
and that one's heavy, man. There's three other tracks that you are on the project. What else? What else do you cover on this project when it comes to your other tracks, like emotional baggage, for example?
Yes. So the the whole project idea of emotional swaggage came
My apologies for
because,
the misname.
yeah, no, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's emotional baggage, but you have to switch it up and then it becomes your swag.
Swag. Yep.
You have to turn pain into purpose. You have to change the baggage into swaggage. You have to make that happen. So I saw a meme. It was a meme. I saw somebody with a shirt that
Hmm.
said emotional swaggage, and I was like, that is dope. I'm gonna get it tatted. But instead of getting it tatted as a tramp stamp, I was like, let me instead of that, let me just make an EP or some sort of project about it. So yeah,
Semi-permanent, just not as permanent.
exactly. And then that song is to reclaim power over your pain. You know, like I feel like we all go through so much shit that sometimes it's harder to pull yourself up from your own bootstraps and be like, okay, I'm gonna use this to inspire me. I'm gonna use this as momentum. I feel like the past few years have been so like in uncertain for me. So many
Right.
relationships ended. The housing situation was crap. I had just graduated from college and I had no job and like debt and like the relationship with my parents just continued to deteriorate. Like I already don't speak to my dad and it's been years, but then the relationship with my mom started to also corrode because I had come out a few months ago, right? Like I told her, I was like, listen, I also like girls. And she was like, are you crazy?
Yeah, that's
So,
like the one thing that just drives Hispanic families crazy,
yes.
apparently. It's
Yeah,
just
they lose their shit. And I'm like,
homosexuality.
what is the deal? What is the big deal? I don't understand. It's 2025. But it was
Yeah.
like all of that together, all of that combined. I was like, okay, you know what? Instead of using my pain as an excuse, I have to use it as a justification for like the person that I become.
You know, I went I'm past the journey, but I would say that emotionally sometimes I'm still in the midst of it. But I went through something very similar, like moving out of my mom's house and like
Mhm.
becoming like who you are once you're like no longer in that like box, you know? And
Yes.
they don't agree with it. It's really weird because it's people that you were like raised with, raised by, and it's like how do you not accept the person that you raised? I
Yeah.
digress though. I digress.
Yes. No, I know. It's like it's hard to see the things that you're used to having a constant change. We as humans, we always feel like, oh my God, it's gonna change. What if it's not the same? What did I do wrong? Is it because I fucked up? You know, probably that's how parents see it of like, if I would have been different, would have you been different? And it's like, no, it's not about you. It's about everybody's on their journey and you have to let them explore. You have to let them be. You have to let them be. And like letting go is what makes them so like um it makes them freak out because they know that they can no longer control you, you
Yeah.
know?
And I like, yeah, exactly. And like justifying who you are to yourself, just like fuck it, like no longer giving a
Yeah.
fuck. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, we have two other tracks to talk about. I don't know if you want to deep dive into every track of the project or if you want to kind of just keep it casual, maybe talk about it here and there. Um, I know, I mean, if you actually, yeah, sure. What are the second and third track as well? Because we covered the first, we covered the last. Talk about the other two. Why
Okay,
not?
yes.
Why
The
not? Why not?
second one is, I think, fatherless behavior. Look, I'm forgetting already. I'm gonna pull it up on my iPad.
Official, professional.
Yes, I'm like, hold on, let me check. Um, I got this iPad a few months ago and I haven't used it, so this is a great excuse.
Wow, that's hilarious. No, yeah, bro.
I've never
Honestly,
been
having
on,
so many
uh-huh.
No, yeah, having so many Apple devices kind of becomes like redundant. Like my phone and my computer are very interchangeable.
Truly, I'm like, what is this? An apple farm?
You know?
Not a farm. Is it a farm? Like where shit grows?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like fucking off the tree.
Yes.
What was I gonna
Um,
say? No, yeah, and it's cool because like I just like it's cool. I want to cover this project first because it's very urgent and coming like it's at this when the
mhm.
interview's out, it'll be out. And so, but I'm very also excited to just talk about before this project and what got you to this point. It's gonna be
Mhm.
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
You're watching the cult personality.
Okay, so yes, the second one is called fatherless behavior. And okay. I don't have a father. Well,
Understandable.
I do, but whatever. My parents broke up when I was like 5. And ever since I was a little kid, I was like, all I wanted was a complete family, right? However, there are some theories in spirituality that support that everything that you have in your life and everyone that you are in close connections with,
Hmm.
you chose them. Every circumstance, your soul chose it before it came here so that it can use those relationships to learn and to grow. So the situations that I had to experience and endure, even though I didn't want them, I needed them to be the person that I am now. This is the whole purpose, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I feel like growing up on my own, basically, because it was just like me, my mom, and my sister, but me and my sister were never close. Um, I felt more free to be myself because I didn't have like that father figure to tell me, don't do this, or oh my God, you're gonna disappoint me. I just sort of had to become, and I had to accept my becoming of the version of myself that I have now.
Absolutely.
So thinking of fatherless behaviors, okay, I just turned 25 on July, and it got
Happy
me thinking.
belated.
Thank you very much. Can you see my white hair? It's like um the quarter life crisis was already hitting me. I already felt it. I'm already like, what have I done? What have I achieved? Time just goes so fast. And um yeah, I feel like that's at the point of my life where I started to write this song.
Awesome.
Um, but yeah, so I'm talking about it's my burden and my duty to remember how I'm changing. Like 1, 2, 3, I'm just a kid. Here comes quarter life crisis. And then I started to list the things that I felt. Half alive, half asleep because I'm always tired, and half the girl I'm meant to be. And then listing out how all of the shit, the sadness, the pain, all of it is part of the things that we're supposed to experience. But in my personal case, like I was supposed, it's like me accepting that everything that happened was supposed to be. And my fatherless behavior is me becoming the version that I'm supposed to be, becoming the person that I'm supposed to be, and accepting it and being proud of it. Which ties to the whole theme of emotional swaggage, which is using your shit, using your pain, and using all of your circumstances to propel you to who you are.
Yeah.
And I felt like my becoming was me turning 25. That was my becoming. I'm like, okay, I'm a woman now, I guess.
Yeah, you get out of that. I feel like the early 20s are always inherently this awkward, like developmental stage. I think when they say that your brain fully develops at 25, they weren't like lying. So
Yes.
people,
Oh my
everyone
God.
says that they feel the change, which is crazy.
That is so true. Yeah.
So it's cool, but I also think it's cool that this project has kind of like, although the tracks aren't all exactly the same exact vibe, which I like that
Mhm.
they have like a variety. They all cover like some sort of coherent theme about like transformation and acceptance and
Yes.
like all these cool things, which I think is really dope personally.
Hmm. Yeah, no, thank you so much. I feel like um it never ends. You think that those cycles and those like realizations, you're gonna go through them once and then you're done. It doesn't end. It's like constant because every time you learn something, every time you have expectations and then they get broken and then you have to reassess, realign. It's like that's your project. Your life is your project. And we always have to take a second, breathe, and conceptualize what just happened. What did that teach me? Why did I need to go through that? Because it was never out of the blue. Everything does have a purpose in your life. And I think this is a great way to introduce the next song, which is called Burned and Bruised. That
Wow, that
song,
was a great transition. It's just like that's it. It brings me to the
that,
next point. All right.
yeah, I'm like, you know what? Let's get to the next one. That song was inspired by one of my ex's texts. He was saying how he's been through so much shit that he's been burned and bruised before. And I'm like, pause, babe. That's poetic. I'm like,
Let me
shh.
snatch that real quick.
Literally, literally, I'm like, shut the fuck up. I have to go cook. I have to make a song surrounding this because that's poetic. Um, but yeah, so this song, um, which is so funny that this is kind of like a breakup song, but I wrote it when we were starting a relationship. It's like I predicted it. It's like I'm a prophet.
That's crazy. Yeah, literally, I was gonna say like prophetic, like you got the message
Yes.
downloaded.
Yeah. But anyway, so this song, I'm already thinking about. Um, I was already thinking about the end when I wrote this song because I'm saying, guess I'm not what you wanted. Over before it started, realized that I'm the one whose heart was hanging on the border. 5 a.m. in the morning got me feeling like the problem, which is a reference to my very first song, which is called I Am the Problem. Come around like I'm the ocean, drowning's not an option now. And I'm saying, I'm at the point where all I do is music, just not trying to lose it. Great, just one more substance user. Pleasure seeker, perpetually refusing. Not your usual loser, losing nightly to pain and all of the vices. The only thing that's soothing, gas, my self destructive habits. I think when you first meet people that have addictions, you think that they're so um, powerless, or you start to think, how could you just get addicted to things, until you realize that their addiction is their own way of drowning their own fears or drowning their emotions and insecurities and things.
Right.
I feel like I grew up Christian, and the teachings of Christianity is like, oh, that person is an addict, they suck. You shouldn't,
Yeah.
surround yourself with that. But then after I went to college and I studied that addiction, it's just they're victims. They're the first victims because they're trying to cope with something that they cannot understand or how to go about it without having their, addictions take over their life. I feel like um, I had this one ex that was addicted to vape. And it was before I tried it. And I was like, oh my God, aren't you afraid of your lungs? And I felt like a dickhead for being so ignorant because after a few months, I became, well, not addicted to it, but it became a habit of mine.
Right.
So I feel like it was me accepting the fact that we're so quick to judge sometimes, and we're so quick to think that the person that is doing the thing is the abuser, but instead they are the first victim, you know? So that is to cover the whole addiction part. But yeah, it was like the first verse I wrote it when we were first starting a relationship, and then the
Hmm.
second verse I wrote it after. Um, but it was like me feeling that the whole fallout of the relationship was my fault. Um, but yeah, you just have to understand that everybody is burned and bruised, and we will burn and bruise each other, but it's just part of the game, part of the business, you know?
Yeah, I think number one, I think it's cool like how much emotional like intention was put into this, like how much thought was really put into every track and all the emotional depth behind the whole project. Because I think sometimes in music, people could be
Mhm.
very not deep surface, but like I feel like people don't explain things as well as this. This is like so cool. Like this is so deep. I don't know. Like there's a lot of stuff that I feel like is applicable, like to my own emotions in my own life. Like that whole burn and bruise shit. That's just like the name of the game. That's so true. Like I don't think people even like prepare you for like the brutality of life. Like not like on some like
Yeah,
oh life is so fucked up, but just like how real it gets.
that is so true. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
very cool.
um, yeah, it's so easy to get like consumed by justifying your pain and justifying like the shit that happens to you. But I think you have to see deeper than that. Like, it's not just, oh my gosh, this person hurt me, oh, this person rejected me. It's more like, what part of me is being triggered by the fact that they rejected me? What part of me is triggered by the fact that I feel ignored right now? So it's more personal than we care to accept sometimes. Instead of taking it as an attack, you have to see it as, okay, why is this hurting me? You know?
Right. No, yeah, man. I think it's really cool and to talk about that and bring awareness to self-awareness in that aspect. Um, which is great. We covered all four tracks with the fucking project, and I think that's a great way to like introduce this episode and start it. However, now I want to ask the main question in the pod, the one that you see all over the Instagrams and stuff. Contempo, the name, the image, the aura, and the energy. Pretty much how do you start music and or creating in general? How do you get to this point right now? Everything in between? Tell us. Tell us the story.
Oh, once upon a time. So how do I begin the process? Like ever since I started, or like projects as of lately?
No, no, that's how you started like making music, getting
Oh,
into the
okay.
music, how you came up
Okay.
with the name Contempo, etc.,
Okay.
etc.
Yes. So I've always been very musically inclined ever since I was a little baby. My first memories of my inclination to music was after school, I would get home and I would like have dinner and like do my homework on this table that in the end had a little radio, like
Mm-hmm.
those old school radio with the
Like little
mixtape.
box ones? Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like green and pink. And it would always be playing either the classic like Latin pop ballads.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there was another channel that would play uh American pop. It was like Katy Perry and like all them people from 2010. Um, and I felt it so much. I'm like I needed it all the time when I was doing all my little shit. I always needed to have music. My mom used to work from home. She was a seamstress. And she would always have the radio on, and it was just always there for me. So ever since I was little, I was like, I need to have this in my life a lot, and I want to learn how to play the guitar. So when we came here to Brooklyn in 2011, I remember we were like in class and they would do like the circles and they would be like, tell me your name and something about yourself. And the only thing that I thought of saying was like, oh, my name is Tapacio. And one fun fact is that I want to learn how to play the guitar. And I would say that in every circle, in every icebreaker circle. So I became like obsessed with wanting it, wanting to learn how to play, wanting to make music. And my mom had this friend, which was part of like a church thing. She was like a church friend.
Mm-hmm.
And she would like take me with her to preach and take me with her to just be on the street talking about the Lord. So I always bugged her about like, oh my God, yeah, I want a guitar. There was a music store right in the corner of where I used to live. And I would just stare at the acoustic guitar. I would just stare at it. And she was like, ah, you like him, huh? And I was like, yeah. And she gave me my very first guitar. And it was like this nylon string with some terrible high action. Like the strings were so far from the neck, it was crazy.
Ooh.
I had to press down with all my might.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah, that guitar was my very first one, but I began to get like acquainted with the strings and the strumming and how it feels and how you have to position your body. So that was my first experience. Then, the time my dad sent some money for me to get my very first less high action guitar. Like he sent me some money for me to get like a better one. Um, So from there, I started playing covers. And at the time, I was very emo. I was like playing covers from like those bands, from 3 Days Grace, from like A Day to Remember. Oh my gosh, it was all time low. All them bands, I would just like learn how to play the chorus, and it would just be like me strumming some chords. And then after that, I began writing my own songs and playing around with the chords that I could use for like the sort of mood that I wanted. But it was all very DIY, very like what's it called? Makeshift. It wasn't anything special, and I wasn't even like recording on any sort of DAW. But then I had this boyfriend that was a little more knowledgeable of DAW, and I think we started recording in, oh, I can't remember the name of it. Was it a cappella? Ah, whatever. So we started recording in some DAW, and that's when I first learned the art of recording. Then I got Logic Pro a few years ago. I mean, a few years after that. And I began to make more projects and make more songs and um, get a MIDI keyboard and like start to input things and here and there. Life always gets in the way, and then work and school. So it was always like a little separation. Like I would do music a lot, and then I wouldn't, and then I would, and then I wouldn't. But I always had a whole like Excel sheet of all my songs, like all the finished ones, all the unfinished ones, potential album ideas. So I always tried to keep like track of all of my creations. Um, and yes, now the whole Contempo era, it started, I think, 2023 when um I had this long-term relationship terminate because I had realized that our lives were no longer compatible. Um, After that relationship, I realized that we weren't compatible because I didn't see myself as another straight person anymore because I fell in love with somebody in my photography class when I was in college. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can be with you because I'm like low-key gay. And this is like a very traditional guy, like very traditional, very like old school. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Um, and that's when I began to think more seriously about like I have to look deeper into myself of how can I bring the person that I need to be person slash artist too. Since I was acknowledging parts of my identity at the moment, I'm like, okay, what other parts of me need to be developed right now? And my music identity was one of them. So in that semester of college, I was also taking this contemporary dance class.
Hmm.
And we had to read an article that listed or sorted the word contemporary as in contempo, and then
Yeah.
the next line was rari. And then I really liked contempo because it had the T in it, which for my name, and also because it sounds like con tiempo.
Right. Which is how I perceived it.
Yes, I'm like, it's too perfect. It's too perfect. So that's when I was like, yeah, this is gonna be me. I had been playing around with other names like Top Alternative or Top VOG, but I was like, no, they don't make me vibrate.
It
And I
doesn't
feel
have the
like when
same ring to it.
yeah, yeah, and I like that. It kind of hints that con tiempo, the timing of music, I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be me. I was supposed to read that contemporary dance article for me to see that format that way. Um, so that's when that name came to be. And then when I accepted myself as I have to lose my fear of releasing, I have to just do it, was when I got into that relationship with that photographer person that I fell in love with my photography class.
Right.
And it ended. I feel like every time relationships end, something in me opens.
It blossoms like how is it? Like with the death of something, it drops a seed and birth of something new. Like a
Yes,
phoenix
yes,
even.
truly.
That's
I'm like,
funny.
oh fuck. Um, so I wrote the song I Am the Problem
Hmm.
because of that culmination. And I released it because I wanted to use the pain of the culmination as momentum for me to delve deeper into expressing myself through my music and my art. Like that became my main outlet. The only thing that I could see made sense, you
Right.
know, because it was so special to me after I had accepted that I didn't need to conform to society. Like the culmination of that 7-year relationship with the traditional guy, that ending was so meaningful to me because I like accepted that I didn't want that life. Like I already visualized that I didn't want a traditional life, cooking traditional dinners. You know what I
Yeah, that's a
mean?
long time, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we met in high school. But um yeah, after that, um I think it all mixed together like in a blender for me to be like, okay, I need more breakups so I can write more songs.
That's funny. Just the relationships just become like even like disposable at this point. It's like, yeah, album ready to go.
Next, literally.
No, yeah, bro. I think it's really cool though, like how even like honest and like transparent all these works are, It's like in the midst of these relationships after whatever, you're like, fuck it. Like just writing these songs. People, I
Yeah.
feel like it's easy to be scared. It's cool that you release the fear of releasing. And so
Oh, say that again.
and it's real as fuck, bro. Like, as a very inconsistent artist, I make things so much bigger in my head than they need to be. I think that's like every artist's like downfall, low key. It's like whether it's like disciplining yourself enough to overcome it or not. But yeah, no, and so that was your first single, right? That you dropped like on streaming and stuff, the I'm the
Yes.
Problem. And
Mhm.
so how do we make this very quick jump? Because this was what 2023 you said, 2024,
Mhm. Yes.
2023. So how do we make this quick 2-year jump where now you go from dropping this first single to now having this project ready to go?
Yeah. So I lose interest very quickly. I don't know what is it. Is it ADD?
Something along the lines, yeah.
Like, okay, this morning I put some tortillas in the microwave
Hmm.
and I immediately forgot. So I started smelling like burnt corn. to check. I'm like, oh yes, I put this tortilla chips for 1 whole minute, and now they're all burnt. Uh,
Oopsie. Forgot
my
about that.
bad. So I am the same way with everything else that I fucking do. If I'm not using the momentum, if I don't have it here daily, 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 I just can't pull through.
Right.
So, um, and I actually think that song, I Am the Problem, I think it dropped in 2024
Okay, yeah.
in my birthday on July 26th. Yeah, the whole relationship happened in 2023, but it took me some months for me to like write the song and fix it up and like send it. Um, yeah, so I think it released in 2024. And then I've written many other projects in between, but they just didn't have enough momentum for me to um, finish them
Right.
and, let them be. Because I'm sure as an artist yourself, you know that it's so easy to just start something new instead of like pull through the pain of like finishing something. Why is that?
I don't know. I honestly, you're so right. And me starting something new has
Mhm.
resulted in a 3-year-old podcast now.
Wow.
Yeah, this was my something new because
Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
I'm having such a hard time with music. I'm so burnt out. Let me just like
Uh-huh.
do something else to fulfill my time. And this is so easy and fun. So, and it sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's
Understandable.
amazing. Yeah, no, but literally you have to use the momentum and it takes so much discipline. Like if I'm being honest, I understand like why it's not just having talent, it's not just feeling the feels. It's also like you have to listen to the song a million times when you're making it, when you're writing it, when you're producing it, when you send it to the engineer and they send you the first mix back, you have to continue listening to it. It's like I'm
By
already
the time
fed
you
up
put
with the
it
song.
out, you're sick of it.
Yes, exactly. But that is exactly why you have to be disciplined to see it as a business, to be like, it doesn't fucking matter that you're tired. You have to keep going. You have to finish. You have to, you have to, you have to. And I low-key hated that because I'm a free bird. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the song anymore. The breakup
Yeah.
happened last week. I'm already feeling something new.
That's so real though. At least you're keeping it a buck. Like that's literally so real. It's like,
Like, I don't have
fuck this.
time. Next song, next. But yeah, so I at least I can say that because of that breakup, that song came to be, and because of that whole thing, I was like, I have to put it out. I don't care if it's not perfect. I don't care. It just has to happen, and it had to happen on my birthday. Like I made myself some rules, and I knew I had to stick by them, and that was the only
Yeah.
reason why it was able to happen. Like, if you don't tell yourself by this day this has to happen, it's so easy for you to forgive yourself and be like, you know what, you've been a good boy enough. It's okay. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
No, you have
N-
to be like, listen here, little shits. You have to do it. Either way.
Bro, self-discipline on the realest level.
Yes. Yeah. So after a few months, I think I released what was the second one? Tócame. And that one was inspired because I was going to like the gay strip club a lot. Like I was going to the strip club a lot.
How fun.
Yeah, no, I was having a good time. I was losing a lot of money, but it was fun. So that was the second one.
Understandably so.
And it was really fun though, because it was like the first song that I'm like talking about something else besides heartbreak. I'm talking about like falling in love with a stripper. So
Lit. That's super lit. Turn the vibe 180 degrees completely.
exactly. Like, no time to cry. I have to see this ass right now.
Right in front of me.
Exactly. So after that song, I released I think Estrellate Conmigo, or was it another one? I don't fucking know. You see, I have the worst memory. I don't know.
No,
Um,
yeah.
but the goal is if you're starting to release music, you can't wait too long. You have to do it a little more consistent, like every 3 months and stuff like that. So this EP was supposed to come out on my birthday on July 26th,
Right.
but my engineer was going through some things. Life got in his way. And then I just had to wait. And the waiting was painful because I'm such a timing person. I'm such a
Mhm.
timing matters type of person. Because I just wanted to see them numbers. I wanted to see my birthday on the drop. I'm insane, but I needed
No,
it.
I get it. It's your vision. It's what you wanted.
Yeah, yeah,
No, yeah, man, that sucks. That would tweak me, I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. But even in that, there's like, what is the universe trying to teach me right now?
Right. That coming back to that thought is like very important. It is
It
very
really
important,
grounded
literally.
me. Yeah. And what it taught me is it's not ready yet. Isn't that poetic? Like when it's not ready, what is it teaching me? It's not ready. It's not its time. Maybe you're not ready for it to come out at that time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe there's things lined up that you just really had to sit with it, be patient, and trust the process. It'll come when it's due. It'll come when it has to. So yeah. After that first song, it's been a whole year and a few months after that very first drop, but I've wanted to just stop making excuses for myself. And I think I had collected all of those songs that I'm like, you know what? It makes sense for me to release like a more concise projects instead of just one song and then, you know, a few more other songs that make no sense. I was like, I need to have a concise sound, something that I can use to maybe perform eventually. So yeah, that was like my vision for the EP.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. And I think that's really cool. Like, I think it's cool, like the progress that's led up to the EP. I think the EP in itself is really dope. I think once you get that like project, that first project through the door out there, it like really establishes you as an artist, even though you're already like established. But you get it. Like I think it really like it's once that door opens, now it's like albums and like, only just expanding and growing from here. So it's
Yeah.
cool. Um, what else did I want to ask? Because we talked about that. And we talked about what you're working on right now. So, or like, past the EP or like besides the EP, what else do you got going on right now? Besides worrying about dropping it, what have you been working on?
Um, so I realized that when you're an independent musician, you have to be everything in the music
Hmm.
business and industry. You have to be your own promoter, you have to be your own visual effects creative director, you have to be your own backstage design. Oh God. So, anyways, for this song, Living in the Moment, I actually want to send it to Zoran, and I want him to see that um, the housing crisis in New York is so fucking real and it affects real people. So I really want to make this a movement of like we. I resonated with your campaign because when I was doing my dishes and I heard your ad come on, I felt like you were talking to me because it's affecting me right now.
Right.
So I have been working on like writing letters to websites or to music pages that listen to musicians. I have to promote myself to them so I can be like, listen, I just wrote the song. Also writing a letter to Saran himself and sending it to like his team and whatever so that they can see that I was inspired by the campaign too and like I support it. Because easily my situation could have ended so much worse if it was somebody with less resources. Like
100%.
I was able to find a room when I was like looking for it and I was able to move. But it all takes so much money. Like I had to pay for the moving company. If it was somebody that had less resources, they would literally face homelessness. So this is real shit. So I'm like, okay, I have to write this song, but I have to let the world know that this is fucking real, that it could have been worse for me. So I've been working on writing those proposals to the websites and Saran's team, but I've also been working on thinking on what sort of music videos should I take? Where can I post myself outside? Stand there with a sign that says lower the rent or something, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
That's cool to like, inherently make your music and not make your music because I guess it would be inherently political with the situation
mm,
you're talking about. But to like take that extra step is really cool. I think that's really dope. What are
yeah.
some ideas you've been playing with when it comes to stuff like that, like visuals and stuff?
Oh, this is so exciting to me because I'm actually working on a t-shirt that I'm bedazzling right now. I'm gonna show you.
Mm. Oh shit. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Full
hold on
personality
here.
exclusive.
Oh, let me take the blurry stuff off. How do I do that?
I have no idea personally. I'm supposed to be the Zoom guy shaking my head.
Oh my God, I'm like this technology. Oh, here, background and effects. Okay,
Hey.
so I'm bedazzling this shirt.
Right.
Um, I'm trying to see if I can make this like a heartbreak, like I heartbreak New York, and then it's gonna say housing crisis in the bottom. So
Mm.
this shirt, I wanted to be part of the protest, part of the movement, and in the back, I wanted to say lower the rent, and then my thing that says Contempo.
Facts. That's
Um,
dope.
yeah, thank you. So I just got this shirt like um yesterday. I was in Canal Street. Hopefully they didn't finesse me because it was like $16. But yeah, so I want to finish the shirt. So maybe next weekend I can be like in Washington Square Park with my speaker, playing my song with a sign that says lower the rent. And I just want to stand there. Maybe blindfolded because I'm afraid of eye contact.
With his like shades on and you're like looking down the whole time.
Yes,
Like,
yes, 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 that's a great idea. Shades, the shirt, the sign, my song playing. And like that guy that just the only thing he does is hold his sign.
yeah, there's a couple dudes
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah. That
especially in Washington Square Park.
that well, that's gonna be me. I don't care. I'm like, buddy, you have to stand over there. This is my spot right now.
Yep, that's it. Yo, that's hilarious. Put like a QR
Yeah.
code on the sign. Bam, stream my shit.
Ooh, yes. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. That's a great
There you
idea.
go. No, yeah, bro. That's gonna be dope. I'm really excited for that. I think it's cool again that you're like tying it into like an agenda, a message, like something of the sort.
Mhm.
I think as skeptical as I am of all politicians, Zoran gives me a lot of hope in a time where we need it. The housing
Yeah.
shit is real. The unemployment shit is real too. They go
Yes.
hand in hand. Like, oh my God, there was actually a time this year where I was like unemployed and living off of my fucking savings from my last job. And, like
Mhm.
going months unemployed. And like, that's why when you said it, I was like, wow, that's like so real, like the fear of not having a roof over your head. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I'm gonna make rent next month. Like I'm on my last fucking however many thousand. Like it's so whack.
Mhm.
And so it's cool to make message to make music mean something because I think a lot of artists, especially in this day and age, are very like I guess like analytical and like number oriented. So it's like very like clout-esque rather than like making it mean something, like what art is supposed to
Mhm.
be. I know it's
Mhm.
also supposed to be self-expression, but express
Yeah.
yourself in a bigger picture way.
Yes,
Anyway,
that's true.
I'm yapping. I'm yapping.
No, no, I feel like that's the only way that I can relate to music too. Like, it sounds good, great, but what are the lyrics saying? Every time I like a song, I have to go to the lyric section and just read it so I can feel it
Yeah,
more.
it
I can't
gives it
just
way. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Like sometimes I like to listen to some like, I don't know, EDM with no words, just vibes. But the music that shakes me the most is the ones that are talking about some real shit, and I feel like that's exactly how it should be. Like
right,
what sort of messages do you need to have be said out loud, because most likely everybody else is feeling it, but they're too afraid to say it. So you have to be the one that's like I'm not
That's
afraid to
so
say
true. That's
it.
so true. We gotta be the
Yeah.
ones. I
Yes.
wanted to ask you because talking about like bigger pictures and deep meaning in your songs and stuff, or like even just in art, implementing into art, you know, this is just me being silly. But like we were introduced to Urca Mateo, which is someone I've had on the podcast actually. Really fun episode.
Mhm.
Go check that out, people. And it was like through the Taino Awards. Shout out being Caribbean. Shout out being Taino. All that shit. I just want to know, like, what does culture mean to you in the sense of your personal life, in the
Mm,
sense of your art, et cetera, et
mm.
cetera.
I love that you asked that because my major in college was anthropology, but it was mainly because of cultural anthropology. I feel like
Right.
there's so many things that are anthropology that you don't realize. This, what we're doing right now, this is anthropology because we're this is a human interaction and it's so it's so much deeper than we care to admit. Like if we were to see each other as like souls, this is our mind speaking through our mouths, through our body,
Through a
through the
vessel.
phone.
Through a vessel,
There,
through a channel,
yeah,
through a vessel, through a frequency, all that
yes.
bullshit.
hmm There's like a source, and we're all like just puppets to it. So when you think about culture, it's like the seasoning of the soul. You know what I mean? Like it's there. It's the
Yeah.
flavor. It's there. It's the essence. It's what
It's all the ways we've
differentiates.
exerted ourselves beyond just
Yeah.
this. You
Yes.
know, once I found out what anthropology work really was, because you hear it and you're like, oh, that's a big word, like archaeology, like these are big words
hmm
when you're younger, and then you grow up and you're like, oh, that's really cool. Anthropology like controls my fucking life. I think like I get so tuned in whenever it's anything from anywhere, like someone just like, yeah, like, because it's all like literally like what you're saying, like the cultural exchanges, all like every little thing, like every little ritualistic fucking, like it's just so cool. I love it. I
hmm
love it so much.
I feel like this what we're doing right now. The following that you have is your culture, is the cult.
Right.
To
Thank
cult
you.
is another word that is similar to cultivate. To
Right.
cultivate is to have some constants, to have something that you care for constantly. And I feel like the things that we talk about is us taking care of our emotions constantly. That's a
Right.
cult. That's a culture. People that care to listen are also reinforcing this culture. And I feel like we are part of a similar group of people, people that care about social events, people that care about art and music. This is our little family. This is our cult. This is our culture. So I think it's
Right.
so important to like acknowledge that and be proud of the circles that represent you because it's like I see me in you and you probably see you in me and this is why we're here because there is something, there's strength, there's a connection. And I feel
Yeah,
like
some resonance.
yes, the same vibrations. I'm like, yes, this is what culture is to me. And yeah, no, I'm just so happy that we're able to share this.
Absolutely. And I really, absolutely, like I couldn't agree more. I couldn't say anything more. You like took all the words out of my mouth. But however, s- like I'm even losing it, It's like you said everything, but it's like that's what this is for. It's literally what this is for. Like I agree with your perspective so much. It's like insane, It's like we are like everything, all this physical shit, we're just fucking, it's not real, like for real. Like, so
Yeah,
everything that comes from the essence and the soul, that's what's fucking real. And so, like,
yes.
all these things are like very beautiful, but also very necessary and important, just like community and art and revolving community around art and stuff like that, and just culture, all of it. It's dope.
Yeah.
Um, Not
We
to get
can't let
super
it die.
exactly, exactly. Like, people need to like just keep like the human spirit needs to be kept alive, and these are the things that are the human spirit. Like I feel like this world's getting so dull and modernist and like all these weird ways, and it's like dystopian as fuck. Bring the color back,
Mm,
but
mm.
all that bullshit. moving away, we talked about past, present, and other things like that. Where do you see yourself in the future? What do you have going on in the future? Anything planned within the short-term future, long-term future, anything like that?
Yes. So after this EP comes, I have to make more micro content. Every other podcast that I listen to, every other like music coach, they're like, you have to make 1 million TikToks, you have to post. And I'm like,
I can't
oh
stand
my
that.
God. I understand, but that's the system. So I have to record more. I have to remember the purpose of why I created the songs because if they need to be heard, I need to make them be heard. I heard this a few days ago that said you have to push yourself in conversations. Like if you want to be heard, you have to pull out the chair and sit down and interrupt. You have to make the conversation be heard. So I'm hoping to have more energy so I can continue the momentum in the EP, but I've also been working on new projects. Like right now, after this, I have to go to Long Island, which is where my sound engineer lives. We're gonna be working on some new songs that I'm also thinking for Contempo to shift over um, a more pop sound. Um, yeah, so I'll be working on experimenting with changing my sounds just a little bit to see how that goes. Because I feel like, for example, living in the moment, it was so much expression that um I want to see how it would be like if I were to merge metal sounds with like a hip hop track, you know? Like if I have an electric guitar and hip hop coming together, there are some artists that are doing that and I have a song that's similar in the genre, so I want to explore that. Um
That's
but
dope.
yeah,
Innovation, new sounds.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Evolving and just playing around with that. But yeah, in the very future, I want to perform. I feel like I always say it in my heart, yes, I want to perform and being in front of people is just a different vibe. But I'm low key, like, I hate being perceived. Like, don't look at me, look
That's
at the
so
wall, look at the
real.
ceiling, but like, just, I'm not here. But it's like, if you want your music heard, you have to shut the fuck up, do the thing, and just do
I
your
like
thing.
existing on the internet, man. I don't like existing
Yeah,
in real life. Like, not like
I hear you.
not that, that sounds weird. I don't like my whole personality to be on the internet because I'm a very
Yeah,
real life oriented person, but y'all are
yes.
only gonna see me on here. Besides that, I'm dolo in my own
Yeah.
realm. Like, I only exist in the digital realm. Like, to do this podcast on a screen where people can watch me from a distance, that's great. If there was a live
Mhm.
studio audience right here, right now, like a talk show, that would be
No.
crazy. I
I'm
would
like, go home.
die.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, so excuse me. It's just like I could only imagine. However, I think like with the sound you're putting out and like also with the way you carry yourself as an artist, I think live performing would be very beneficial to you.
That's true. Well, I appreciate it. So now I have to do my homework and reach out to venues. So you see, it's like so much.
Never ending, bro.
Yes, literally. But we do it for the art. We have to
For the
continue
love of the
doing the.
art.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. And I
Yeah.
really respect that, like work ethic and like your mental and stuff. And like I
Yeah.
have other people that I interview and they be on like the same shit, like doing shows and like, all this stuff. And I'm just like, how? Like, how? It's just insane, but it's doable. And it's crazy. Like, it's very fulfilling and very like motivating to see people doing it. I'm very happy. Like, that so many people are like really chasing whatever it is, even if it's like a dream or just like, oh, I like to create, like whatever it is, whatever motivates them. I love it. It's dope.
Yeah.
Um, moving forward now, I covered the past, present, future. I covered like other things I want to talk about. Before we lead towards like a wrap up of sorts, is there anything that you would like to talk about that I may have missed?
Let me see. Um, How does this make you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose?
Hmm.
This sort of interactions, this sort of
Well, that's a great question, and it's a complex answer. I think with my purpose and how fulfilled I feel, I don't feel like I'm even at my fullest potential yet, to be honest with you. I feel like that this podcast is like safe for me. It's very easy and very comfortable. Like I'm very used to, since I was younger, I was always into like video content and editing and YouTube. So in a way, I'm very used to it. And like even like what I just touched on before, like with the distance thing, like having people through the screen, like it's very safe. I know there's a part of me that wants to like expand, but I feel fulfilled with the podcast in the sense of like I provide the platform that allows people to express beyond just the
Mhm,
music or the clothes or whatever it is they make, you know? Like gives them a platform to be themselves and for people to connect with them on a whole other level, you know? Social media is one thing, and listening to consuming someone's art is a whole other thing. To just hear someone yapping for an hour is like, cool. It's like, oh shit, like I'm chopping it up with this person, you know? So I feel fulfilled there. However, I feel like I could be more fulfilled if I was actively making art like I once
mm,
was. But that's what's like for me in music or me in art in general, I'm just very inconsistent because I get scared. I'm very like that. It's unsafe for me. It's putting myself out there. And so when I was really young and just starting, it was easy because I had like no fear and no self-awareness. And then when
mhm.
I was like in my teens and I started again, it was like, okay, like I kind of have an idea of what I want to do, but not really. And like this time around, like I just want to make art for the love of making art, you know? And I feel like once I do that, I'll be fully fulfilled. But I'm like 75% right now because of all
Yeah.
the podcast stuff.
No, I see what you mean. I feel like the same theory of like an empty cup cannot fill another goes so tight with artists. You can't create if you're not consuming things that inspire you. You
Right.
know, it has to be a cycle of like you receive something that moves you and then you give something that moves other people. So
That's kind of
sometimes,
like where I've been in, yeah.
yeah, when I feel like dull and like uninspired, I'm like, okay, I'm lacking something. I have to go to the park, touch some grass, literally touch some grass. Take off your socks and feel the grass with your toes. Or like go to the water, cleanse yourself. Do something that is more still than the desire to create and be good and have something be perfect right away. It's like, okay, you have to breathe, you have to balance yourself so that you can continue providing because at the end of the day this is like something that you're energetically taking out of yourself. But I 100% feel that. I feel like we're already ahead of the normal person, which is somebody that doesn't create at all, you know,
Right.
somebody that just consumes, somebody that just follows. So the fact that we have that outlet, even if it's not an open vault, is still something that is there. But it's always good to analyze yourself. Like, are you feeling that the stuff that you're putting out is true and it's pure and it's full of, your essence? And I feel like the only way for it to be pure is if you are at peace, tranquil. If you're too stressed, I don't think it's gonna translate the same.
Right. Yeah, 100%. That's so true. Um, and with the music thing, like that's so funny. Like I stopped making music because I was like lack of fulfillment. I was very burnt out making a lot
Yeah.
of music with like no taking
Mm,
in. I was just like in my parents' house,
yes. Yes.
And like now it's been like years and I've made like, I made like songs here or there, but I think I'm ready
Uh-huh.
now to like get back into it. With the
Yeah,
podcast, it's easy to keep the podcast pure. I'm just being
I hear
myself. But with
you.
music, it's so much more intention?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast yesterday because I was like doing some chores.
Hmm.
And it's like, it was this interview with Ross. And he said that you have to be dramatic as an artist. Like it's part of it. If it's intensity, let it be intense. Let it be dramatic. Let it that's what fuels it too. So
That's a conversation because the lack of art right now, I think,
Mhm.
is directly tied to like cringe culture. And people tend
Oh,
to see things that are emotional and dramatic as like cringy, but that's like the whole
who said
essence of,
that? I'm
you
gonna
know?
meet them up.
Yo, because that's how this is just me
Oh,
perceiving it from the outside looking in. Because like everybody's like so afraid of being cringe, of being like corny, of being like
oh,
away. And I think like that is something that gets tied into it now. Like,
mm.
oh, that dude's like doing too much, making it too
Oh,
deep.
wow. Who cares?
Right? Exactly. I think that's like something that we need to let go of because you're so right.
Mm.
Like, and or the person that's saying it, Russ, it's so funny. Russ was a victim of cringe culture. People used to think it was cringe to be a Russ fan in like 2017, and now he's still
Wow.
here. Everybody else from that era is gone.
Wow.
He's
That's
still
crazy.
here, and he's like, yeah,
I
bro,
never
you just
knew
gotta,
that.
yeah, it's crazy. Like, we need to just like it's the phones, bro. It's the fucking phone. I swear to God. Not to sound like an 80-year-old man, but
Wow.
people are just so easily impressionable, and people think everything is
Mm.
like too much now. Now it's like, oh, it's so stupid.
They just
You're
don't
right.
want to face the truth.
Exactly.
If you don't want to
Exactly.
feel the feels, go ahead and have a shot. But I'm gonna talk my shit. I'm gonna be emo till I die.
Yep. Yo, that ass. That's so true, bro. And it's
Yeah.
very inspirational to hear these words. Like it's very dope. I'm very happy with this episode. It's been very like motivational, inspirational, and also just a good conversation. Very cool.
Yeah, truly. Thank you.
No, yeah, like we've had each other on socials for like however many like months now, and I'm like wondering like,
Yeah.
oh, like anytime I meet an artist, I'm like, how did this person start creating? That's like immediately what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. So it's been cool. Um, Probably gonna lead towards a wrap up now. I think it's been fun, nice like hour or so.
hmm
Um,
I lost track.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally, yeah, it's been more than an hour. So time is
Okay.
just,
Wow.
but Contempo, what do you got going on the next day, week, month, year, decade, century, millennium, or so? It doesn't have to be art related. It could be what you're eating for breakfast tomorrow. Just kind of like a general rundown.
So tomorrow I have to go back to work,
Womp.
unfortunately. I know, but like I just started this job like a month ago, like literally, oh fuck, it's September last month. So I started this job. Okay. So my previous job
Hmm.
was in hospitality, but for a very big accountant firm in the city.
Okay.
The place that I worked for was like a contracting place. It was like a subcontractor that
Okay.
treated their workers like crap, like they're not
Ooh.
a real person. But you get
Right.
prestige because you're working for this big name in the city. So I learned what I needed to learn from there, which was the attitude. Like you have to continue working with the same attitude because you're passionate about it instead of because you want to survive because it paid chump fucking change. So I don't know how I got this new job because I did so many fucking rituals. So
I swear to
I
God, that's how it
don't
be,
know.
bro.
So I don't know if it was because I manifested it or like it was meant to be. I don't know what caused it, but I interviewed and they liked me and now I'm making the most money that I've made ever. And it's so chill. I get to like take my personal laptop and I like work on my music at work. So it's like I feel so weird that I got this job. Like I'm sitting there, like I'm literally making money, and I'm also making my music right fucking now. I'm still in company.
No, yeah, that's great. And like those are the opportunities, bro. It's like the drought is over. That's like what my relative has been saying, and it's because like recently
Mhm.
I've gotten a new job too, and it's just
Okay.
like yo, bro, like these fucking out like, and it's like same thing, like bro, like real good, like real chill, like I be lit, like, and it's just like man, these opportunities like they're God sent for real.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So maybe it is because I manifested it.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's
Yeah.
divine opportunity just falling right into your lap, which is like great. That's
Truly.
as you deserve, That's like 100.
Mm.
Man, the universe is universing, bro.
I
That's it.
know. I know. So yeah, tomorrow I have to go to work and I'm not like, oh, work. I mean, yeah, kinda, but it's still like, oh yeah, work. And then I have to continue working on the drafts for the websites that I have to send my pitch to.
Hmm.
And then continue to draft out some um videos over the weekend, over next weekend. I have to do that. But after this, I'm heading to Long Island, and then I think that's it for today. Yeah, I will probably continue working on this shirt when I come back, and even like tomorrow.
Hell
But
yeah.
yeah, I'll continue listening to some other podcasts because I feel like instead of listening to music, I always like to have something that teaches me something. Music is
Yeah.
great, but when you hear something that resonates when you're doing something else, it's like you're killing two birds in one stone.
Podcasts are really fun. I have a hard time. Ironic, but I have a hard time with the length of podcasts. But when I get really locked
Oh,
into a podcast, oh
yeah.
man.
No, me too.
Personally, it's so stupid, but like I'm really into like like pro wrestling podcasts, like the dudes who do like the fake fighting, not the real
Oh,
wrestlers, the fake wrestlers. But they be
okay.
talk they be talking about their lives and you learn some shit, man, just off these
Oh,
regular Joe
yeah.
schmoes from on. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, too funny, man. Um Shit, bro. I'm excited to see where you go from here as an artist and what you do. And it's dope. This was a dope episode. I'm glad to have got it done.
Thank you so
Uh,
much.
s- yeah, of course. So now we'll do like a little outro of sorts, you
Oh, yeah,
know?
let's pray. Thank
Father,
you,
Son, and Holy
Lord.
Spirit. Now, King. This has been the
Father,
Cult of
no, pray.
Personality podcast, the Christ of Personality. No, I'm kidding. This has been the Cult of Personality podcast, hosted by yours truly, Mikeymcchoppa. With us today was Contempo. This has been a great episode. Hope you guys learned something. Thank you again for being here with us for like last hour and change, dude.
Thank you for
Um,
having me for the last hour and change.
of course. What else do I say at the end of these things? Free Palestine. Fuck ICE. Um, be real. Make some good art. Work hard. Get that guap. We're all struggling to survive, but that's life, bro. We'll see
You
you
have
next
to
week.
turn on that emotional swaggage.
Exactly. Turn on the swaggage. We'll see you.
Exactly.
We might see you next week because I'm very inconsistent uploader, so I might not see you next week, but I'm here. This was Mikey McChoppa, Contempo. We'll see you. Peace, peace, love, and hair grease.